All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Sorry. Fucking computer screen's dirty. All right, Dan Phillips wasn't late. I was on time. All right, might have been a minute late, but whatever. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me again. I appreciate the support as always. So anyway, today we're going to talk about the visit to East Palestine. Now, I know a lot of you saw the live stream. There was a lot going on, especially after I shut the cameras off and got to talk to a couple people. I did run into a subscriber while I was there. So my last live stream I did when I was there, thank you for the 5x5, guys. Thank you, Dan, Elizabeth, and Adriana. And Mouse in the House and Loretta. Thank you for the 5x5. My mother Sparks as well. So the last live stream I did, there was a subscriber there. He jumps out of his truck, by the way. So first of all, he pulls up, and I noticed when he pulled up, and I'm thinking he's one of the track guys because he's all like fancied up in a suit and shit. And he jumps out of the car, and I'm thinking he's about to break my balls. And then he goes, "Oh man, nice to meet you. I follow you." I was like, I'm still thinking he's a track, like one of the track worker representatives or chemical company representatives. And then we start talking a little more, and then apparently not. So anyway, something does happen. I think 10, 15 minutes into our conversation that I thought was interesting was that as we're standing there by the tracks where you guys saw the last video, we're standing by the tracks, and this dude rolls up in a pickup. He's one of the workers, one of the cleanup guys. And he rolls up and he goes, "What's going on?" Initially, I wanted to say, "Minding my business," but I go, "Yeah, we're enjoying the fresh air." Right? So the guy that I was with, he goes, "Yeah, man, we're just enjoying the scenery." And then that was it. The guy looked at us like these fucking assholes and then drove away. But the fact that this was the only dude that even say anything to us, and I don't even know why he did. I don't know what response he thought he was going to get out. I didn't know what that was about. But that was it, and then he drove off. Actually, he didn't drive off. He pulled off into the mud. No, he did drive off. He pulled a U-turn and went back across the other side of the tracks. So again, me and the guy sitting there, and I'm like, we're talking about the shit's going on. So this guy lived in the area, and he said that it was like pandemonium when the shit lit on fire, and the people were reacting to it, and he's like, it was traffic everywhere, and people were fucking scared. So that day that it went down, that was pretty telling as to how everybody was responding. Now, I know some of you might have watched Squirrel Tribe's video. I think she did it yesterday, the day before. She talked about how life is going on, business as usual. The problem is, it's not exactly business as usual. People are scared, upset, angry. It's not what it looks like in the news. You have to go there for yourself and see for yourself what's going on. It's depressing. It's fucking nothing short of depression, guys. And I get it. I get why you would be upset, you would be depressed. A lot of people have nowhere to go. They have no fucking where to go, guys. They don't have a home to go to. They don't have like another home that they can go to. It's not like they can sell their home and buy another house. So the lady, I wish I could remember the lady's name at that place, the Roadhouse. I want to say Brittany or Bridget. I could be fucking completely wrong. But it begins with a B. Bethany or something like. It's like Brittany or Bridget. It's one of those two. Anyway. She goes, "We want to move out of here too," because she goes, "I don't think our business is going to last too much longer." And she goes, "But we don't have money to buy another house." And she's like, we have to sell this house before we can move somewhere else. And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say it out loud, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way you're going to be able to sell this house. I mean, like, it's not like everybody knows what's going on in East Palestine. You're not going to be able to sell that place, man. So, yeah. A lot of people are fucked. Even those that have money to leave can't afford double mortgage, right? So they can't afford mortgage on the house there and somewhere else. So it sucks. It sucks that these people are in that kind of a position where they can't do anything about it. Anyway, I walk into that bar. So I remember walking into the bar, and I'm talking to the lady that owns the bar. or the restaurant rather. Sorry, I keep calling it a bar. It's actually a restaurant. Um, I remember walking towards her, and I could see the look on her face when I was walking towards her. She looked at us like, "Oh God, here goes another fucking asshole trying to find out what's going on here." So anyway, we get into a good conversation about the whole thing, and she tells me everything that's going on. So it's it you know it, I think a lot of the people are also annoyed by people like us coming down there. But like I told her, I said I want to know what's really going on. I mean, like the media is not really talking about it, but you got the other side of the coin where people are talking about shit's okay. It's business as usual. It's not business as usual, guys. When fucking your life has been turned upside down, your health is compromised every day. I had somebody on my Instagram telling me that the air is being checked by a third party, and that the information you gave. So I did a short or an IG reel talking about the East Palestine visit, and this person comes on. You're giving false information because the air is getting tested. I was like, yo, suck a dick, bitch. I'm like, yo. I said, for any asshole who believes a third party air tester, you're a fucking moron. Because they did the same shit, guys, down at 9/11, down at the Trade Center. They said that they were testing the air, and the air was clean and good to go. And you know what happened? Fucking thousands of us are dying from this shit. Whether it's civilian, cops, or firefighters, dying from this shit, right? We breathe in enough of that shit, a lot of us are sick, right? And some of us are not, or at least not yet. Nonetheless, never believe a state agency, whether it's a state agency or third party run. Don't believe their bullshit. Don't believe it at all. So anyway, you're always gonna have some shill, right? Some government agent telling you what's going on, what's not going on. I don't believe it for a fucking second. I believe the air is still bad, and people are still have headaches. And I believe the ground is off gassing, right? So off gassing is the byproduct of a spill of some kind, and it's still emitting whatever it's emitting, whatever that formula is, or whatever that chemical is. And yeah, I think that's why people are still having headaches. Now, you would have thought, all right, in the first week or two of this happening, people were still having headaches. What is 3 weeks later, almost a month now, and it's 3 weeks later rather, and people are still experiencing headaches. People are still experiencing their eyes burning, their throat burning. Now, the lady who owned the restaurant, she said the throat burning and the eye burning is less. It's not as severe as it was when it happened, but nonetheless, she's still having headaches. Doug, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just and you could feel the morale or the what you call it in the town, guys. The energy in the town. And it didn't help that I went on a cloudy day too, so that added to it as well. It added to that funk that the town is in. The town is breaking apart, is being divided. I don't know how a town could be divided on something like that, but leave it to inside sources and shit, or shills, or people that are put in place to divide a town. And the division is insane. I've never seen or heard of people divided on something that was so concrete. A train derailed, chemical was spilled, engineers thought it was the best thing in the world to light it up instead of fucking cleaning it up, stating that, oh, well, the chemicals were overheating and we needed to do this. Bullshit. That was probably the worst bullshit I've ever fucking heard. Anyway. But the city sues the train company. Yeah, listen, you could sue the, ma'am, you could sue the train company, Adriana, you could sue the train company, but how much are they going to get? How much are they going to pay off the local officials, right? State officials. To be like, all right, we can't give you guys trillions of dollars. It'll bankrupt us. So be it. So fucking be it. But it doesn't matter. The people need to sue. The individual persons that live in that town need to sue. They need to be compensated so that they can leave, because that town, guys, is headed towards a ghost town. Now, I forgot the name of the town that I was in Pennsylvania, the one with the mines on fire underneath. But I told the lady that story, and she was like, "Get out of here! I never heard of that." I go, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "You never heard about the town that has the fire continuously burning underneath them in PA?" She goes, "No." I go, "Well, yeah, and that town's a ghost town." And she goes, "Get out of here." And I go, "Yeah." I said, "By the way," I said, it's when you go there, you could still see where some of the addresses were on the sidewalks and where the building used to be, but the building's not there anymore. It's a complete ghost town. There are 11 occupants there, or people that still live there. Centrilla, yes, thank you, Scrapper. Centrilla, PA. So I told her about that, and CMAC, thank you for that as well, Centrilla. If I said that right, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. And I said, I told her about this place, and I said, you could still see like where the blocks were and where homes used to be, but the foundations and everything are gone. She's like, "You kidding?" I go, "Yeah." And I said, 11 people live there. Or at the very least, it's 11 homes. I don't think it's 11 people, but I think it's 11 homes. And you can count, guys, the 11 homes in Centrilla, PA. It's insane. Wolfang, yes, like Silent Hill. That's what Centrilla reminded me of, Silent Hill. And that's what East Palestine's going to look like. It's going to look like that in a few years. Because, again, these people don't have anywhere to go. Now, if the government says, "Hey, we want you to get the fuck out of here, we'll put you over here," a lot of people will go. But there was a waitress, I forgot the waitress's name. I was staring at her name the whole time she was working on her chest. She says, "I can't go anywhere. There's nowhere I can go." She said, "I can't afford to leave." She's renting, by the way. She's renting an apartment in a house. And she doesn't have anywhere to go. And so the landlord wanted her to leave, but she can't. So take her story and magnify that times fucking like 5,000. Right? So Vision Preparedness just sent me an article. Ohio sues Norfolk Southern over East Palestine derailment. Yes, now the state is doing that, but where does that money go? Does that go to the state for cleanup, or does it go to the people? People themselves need to have a class action lawsuit. So the town of East Palestine has to have a class action lawsuit as well. You got to hit them from all angles, man. You got to hit them in the dick, man. You know, like all over the place. But the government is bailing out the banks instead of the people of Palestine. Yeah, so we're going to talk about the bailouts of banks tonight on the Angry Truth channel. Thank you, Adriana, for bringing that up. But yeah, listen, they said they weren't going to bail them out. Now they're like, well, we're not going to bail them out with taxpayer dollars. But where the fuck are you coming up with the money from? You're going to ask the Ukraine back for their fucking $10 billion? I don't know where the fuck this money's coming from. But nonetheless, guys, no, Dan Phillips, I wasn't staring at her chest. Believe me, I wasn't staring at her chest. It wasn't one of those chest staring moments, if you will. But the bailing out of banks, guys, I don't. This is such a shit show. I don't know where to fucking go with this whole bailout shit, but we're gonna talk about it tonight. Crazy Marine, thank you for the donations, man. I appreciate it. Thanks. And that was his first time sending a super chat. Thank you, man. I can't believe it even lets me know that. Lets me know that you were the first time, first time donator. Appreciate it for the donations, man. Yeah, Gene, yes, I get it, right? Printing more money, but then what? Like, to what point are you going to be like, it's like they're like, oh, we'll just throw more money at it. What the fuck, man? Anyway, with that, guys, the town is like, again, it's just completely fucking screwed, man. I would know, like, if I lived in East Palestine and I was in that position, I'd be fucked. I'd be like, what am I going to do with my house? I can't sell this place. No one's going to buy it. The government's not going to buy it from you. A lot of people are like, well, the government wants the land for X, Y, and Z. Apparently, they don't. They're not offering any kind of buyouts for these people. And I guess that the buyouts would take time. I know it would probably in the next 6 months to a year, they might offer a buyout. I don't know. I don't know yet. But we shall see. No, I did not wear my Hulk t-shirt in East Palestine. I don't even know what that means. I don't even own a Hulk t-shirt. Wait, do I? No, I don't own a Hulk t-shirt. But anyway, so with that, guys, there was an interesting story about, I think it's called leaky oil, but the way the lady said it to me said it sounded like lakey oil, whatever. So anyway, leaky oil is an oil company, the local oil company in East Palestine. And these people had 3 gas trucks that were on property and were told that they needed to move the gas trucks. So now, I was a little confused from when I was told the story. Where the fuck is that coming from? Sorry, guys. If you can hear that, let me know. But that's fucking strange. And it is getting louder. Jankman, I did not... I hear it. Yeah, yes. Alright, you guys can hear it. Just a little. I didn't wash the Tahoe yet. I gotta figure out where that's coming from. Give me a second. Give me 2 seconds. All right, sorry. That was, believe it or not, that was the bathroom. The pipes are acting up again, so it's gonna end in a couple minutes. But whatever. Sorry about that. And yes, my mother's Spark. I'm on a laptop. Like I got this whole little setup going on over here. But yeah, the when you live in a building this tall, sometimes when people crack the water just a little bit, it makes a fucking horrifying sound. It's done. It's over with now. But it's stupid. Yes, it was actually pipes. And whatever. It was fucking stupid. So sorry. Let me get back to the whole leaky oil story. So the lady who runs or helps run it, she's one of the owners. Her name is Beverly Leakey, right? And she was telling the story on how her son got facial burn from getting the last truck, oil truck or gas truck, sorry, out of the off property. So what I was a little confused with was they told him they had to get the gas trucks off, but her son ended up with facial burn. So I think he went back for the last truck after they lit it up, and he got out just in time. But he had face burns on his face, and they haven't been back to run their business. So their business is shut down. There's a dive bar around the corner. Central Banker, nice one by the way. Thank you for the donation. There was a dive bar called State Line. They were shut down as well. They haven't opened up, but you know, dive bars, guys, you know what that is. That's like fucking AIDS and hepatitis when you sit down on one of their seats. So it's not a huge loss to the community, but yeah, it's another business that was shut down, and there was a third business shut down in the area. I forgot to write it down, but whatever. So again, guys, a lot of the areas being affected, and the water lines, by the way. So apparently throughout the town of East Palestine, there are water pickup points, and I think that regular people like yourself and myself can go there and drop off water, right? So if you go there with 3, 4, 5 cases, you can just drop it off. But they are running into an interesting problem again, down with the town being divided. they're being divided as to who gets what now. I didn't think that, not that I didn't think, but I could see that being a problem, especially when you have people from out of town, not in the East Palestine area, picking up free water. So they were saying that they wanted people to show IDs to make sure they're from East Palestine, right? And there seemed to be people from outside of East Palestine picking up stuff, but that was unconfirmed. That was from what I was told by a lady who works in Rite Aid, right? So I would like to go back and interview these people, but I know the lady who works in Rite Aid, she's leaving. She's going to California because her kids are sick every day. So anyway, before I get into that story, apparently there's a lot of supplies that people are dropping off and people are picking up. But again, the divide is, why should we have to take ID or show ID to pick up supplies? Well, the easy answer is, if you got motherfuckers from surrounding towns who probably might have been affected by this as well, you want to know who you're giving it to. You don't want to have some fucking asshole from, a state away or 2 states away driving over to pick up free shit. That's why you card everybody. You make sure they're fucking who they say they are. Not so much who they say they are, but they're from where they say they are, right? More than anything. But anyway, the town's in a fight over that bullshit. Then the town's in a fight over if the cleanup crew is doing a good job. Now, I said this before, I'll say it again. I think the cleanup crew thing is just a dog and pony show. Right? The amount of shit that they have to dig up would probably take them months. They're probably going to be there months. I can't see them anything to show that ID. Well, listen, guys, IDs obviously need to be a thing, because we're getting way too far away from it. Again, look at immigrants here. You know that Eric Adams wants to pay for college tuition for illegals here in New York City? So if you come to this country illegally, no ID, no license, you go, ¿por qué? And then, you start, I eat tacos. And then they're like, oh, you're an immigrant. You can go to college for free. That's what they want to do here in New York, And that's why we need IDs. Now, as far as digital IDs goes, I'm dead against that bullshit. You can kiss my ass with that bullshit. That's a different ballgame altogether. You're talking about something completely different with digital IDs. And digital IDs, guys, are going to be more of a thing because they're creating more problems. This banking issue, digital IDs are coming behind that. Or at the very least, digital currency is going to be spoken more of because of this bullshit, right? But here in New York, all you got to say is, I'm from the other side of the border, sir. And they're like, oh, okay, you can go to BMCC, which is a college here in New York City. And no ID. You don't need shit. You just got to say you're from fucking, South America somewhere. Who the fuck knows? But now, New York City taxpaying dollars, my taxpaying dollars, are going to pay for some illegal. Now, listen, there is something to be said. I have to be honest. If one of these people are going to come from another country, go to college, and become some kind of neurosurgeon, then so fucking be it. I'm fine with that. If they're coming here to better their futures, there is something to be said about it. But there is also something to be said that how come poor New Yorkers can't get free colleges? Now, yes, I know there are a million other programs that you could sign up for, but New York City wants to directly pay for this. Whatever, Digital currency is super. Yes, Ken Stepp. Digital currency is going to be bad. It's going to be fucking bad. It's going to be a nightmare. And implementing it is going to be a nightmare for a long time. Then they're going to figure it out. Yeah, let's create a fucking huge problem that's going to get people hooked on it, And then people are going to fucking run to it. People are going to run to the digital currency. People are going to run to the digital ID. I'm tired of getting my fucking ID stolen. My identification stolen. I'm tired of fucking ID theft and all this other bullshit. And I'm hacking in my bank account. what are we going to do about it? Well, we're going to give you guys this digital ID. Digital ID is probably going to start like a bracelet, which, by the way, the bracelet thing is less likely to happen. The implant thing is going to happen. So there was a lady, I wish I could find this video, where she was talking about swallowing something the size of smaller than the average pill. And she swallows this, and it activates, you digest it, it goes into your body, and it implants yourself, and it's now your digital ID. So they scan your body or some part of your body, and they get all this information from this thing that that you swallowed. And this bitch went on, yes, like a LoJack, Gick Grimes. Okay, I get what you did, Rick Grimes, but Gick Rhymes, whatever. So the lady goes on to say, this is like my superpower, because now I'm a superhero because I have my information inside of me. I'm like, what the fuck? So they're trying to push this shit, guys. They're trying to push it. The bracelet thing is probably going to happen first, but the swallowing the pill shit is seemingly going to be moving fast. Smart dust. Yeah, picture me rolling. Yeah, I could. That's sort of like what, but she said it was like a microscopic something that implants itself in the video. Dog Creek said he saw the video. So I'm not alone in this. Thank you. But picture me rolling said, research smart dust. I will. Matter of fact, again, picture me rolling. If you guys want me to look up stuff like this, you gotta email me because I'll forget. So by the way, guys, I'm gonna board up Super Volcano. I want to do a live stream and do a side-by-side video of my episode on Doomsday Prepper, so that we can either laugh together or cry together. It all depends on how the fuck you're going to look at this. But I do want to do that. I have to, someone sent me the video, but I want to get a clean version of the video. So I might buy it, which I don't want to fucking do, but I will just for this. Buy the video so that I can run it off my computer a lot easier. So we can watch that episode together. And like I say, laugh or cry. Again, depends on how you want to look at it. Anyway. So, guys, with all of this shit going on in East Palestine, I did bring up something, and maybe it's a little, it's a little callous, but people are having equipment stored on their property. People are having this toxic dirt stored in their property. So one guy, his name is Bruce, and Bruce is he's not watching this, so it don't matter, but Bruce is like the town drunk. So Bruce was talking about how they're putting dirt or toxic dirt on the edge of his property. So where his property line ends, that's where they put the fucking dirt. So I thought he was like, because he's a local drunk, he was exaggerating. No, he wasn't exaggerating. Not at all. Not even a little bit. He was right. They put these big fucking gigantic size, I would say like the size of a car, bags on his property. Prep Rebel, I don't know what you mean by choose a side, because when I originally did it, they didn't have me choose any sides. They just did the video. So anyway, so with that, guys, a lot of people in that town, from what I'm being told, I can't, I'm not, there's not 100% confirmation on it, but they're not being paid for equipment and or shit like that being stored in their properties. So, for example, one guy had generators on his property, but he's got fucking tire tracks up and down his fucking backyard grass. So I don't know if they're compensating him for that. The lady who worked at the Roadhouse Steakhouse said that they weren't paying him for it. And I guess the ideology is, well, because we're helping you clean up the mess, we shouldn't have to. Bullshit. You're fucking up my grass. You're fucking up my shit. You owe those people something, Lap SWAT 1, thank you for the donation. But that question is more reserved for the Angry Truth channel. But yes, the left liberals are pushing their agenda. I don't think they are. They are pushing their agenda. But that's a conversation for the Angry Truth channel. But thank you for the donation. Oh boy. Anyway, I'll look at that later. So, with that, guys, yeah, the cleanup crews should be compensating a lot of the land that they're using or areas that they're using, especially when you're using somebody's backyard. And though you're not legally putting the dirt on that guy's backyard, you're putting toxic dirt right up to his property line. So you should pay him something for putting that toxic shit so close to him. And he did say something. The guy who owns the backyard did say something interesting. He goes, I could smell this shit every morning. He goes, it gets me sick every morning. Now, again, he is the town drunk. So when he said he was getting sick, alcohol poisoning or withdrawals, you choose, right? But yes, he did have giant bags of dirt on the back of his property. So when I went to go look, because I thought maybe he was embellishing it a little bit, he wasn't embellishing. He had shit to the fucking his line. KR, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Yeah, we do need to start complying with the bullshit. And again, I do want to talk about it but I got to do a Rumble video on it, on what needs to be done. But I'm going to tell you right now, what needs to be done, a lot of you guys are not willing to do. Just not. I know what needs to be done. And it's only one option as far as fighting this political climate. We can't fucking protest anymore. That's out. But yeah, again, that's another conversation for another day on a different channel, or rather a different platform. But fighting, like Adriana's, fighting is it. But it's far more than fighting, guys. It's shit that's going to get a lot of us fucking in trouble. And when I mean in trouble, I'm talking about 6 feet under in trouble and or locked up under the jail in trouble. Crazy Backyard. Yes, I'm calling him the town drunk. The only reason why I'm calling him the town drunk is because it was like some shit out of a movie. When I walked into the steakhouse, there he was. And everybody knows, guys, you no matter what bar you go to, you can always identify the town drunk. Like, oh, there he is. And his name is always like Bruce or Bill or, William, Robert, all one in the name, or Bruce or David. It's always like the local drunk. So when you walk in there, and I looked, and I'm like, oh, Otis. Thank you, Johnny. Yes, Otis. And then you walked in, and I was like, holy shit. It was like something out of a fucking movie. I walked in there he was. He was just drinking. And then he's like, yeah, hey, what's going on there, fella? He's like, you're pretty big. I'm like, well, I work out. He's like, okay. And then he hears me talking to the lady who owns the bar about what's going on. And he walks over. He's like, hey, I got some dirt they're putting dirt on my land. And I'm like, okay, man. And drunks, they always got to get way too fucking close than they need to be. He was sitting across the bar. I blinked and he was like, here, this is what's going on here in the town. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I wanted to please go back to your seat. But whatever. I let him talk. And he told me about the land and the dirt near his land. So I went over there. And I was like, he was fucking telling the truth, So, yeah. A lot of shit going on, man. A lot of shit going on. And there's so much going on in that town, and it's not being spoken about. It's just not, yeah. Now, listen, again, with the drunk, man, when he started walking over to me, I was just like, what the fuck did I do to deserve this? And he was with another kid that I'm probably going to go to hell for saying this, but he looked like he was 23, had one tooth, and was also a drunk. He looked Mad Max. Blaster, right? Remember Blaster? Blaster had the retarded look with the one tooth. That's what the kid looked like, but a smaller version of him. And I was like, I'm going to hell for thinking this. Because I was like, oh my God, that's Blaster, right? But, couldn't say that out loud. And the kid probably wouldn't have fucking known who I was talking about anyway. But it was a combination, man. It was a combination of two. Yeah, Master Blaster. Yeah. So... But remember when Master Blaster got his helmet knocked off, you guys can find that on the internet. I was like, that's what the kid looked like. But he was sitting there just drinking their lives away, man. I was just like, go so I'll save you a seat. Um, yeah, it was just weird. And then again, the morale of the town, man. It's just like, ugh, you know, like it was just sad, man. You know, it was just bad. It was just a bad fucking what you call it. But the town drunk was the highlight of it. You know what the highlight was the burger at that joint. Listen, I'm a burger snob, and I told the lady that, by the way, because when I was ordering a burger, I'm like, I said, I hate to insult you guys, but is your burger fresh? Was it frozen? She was like, we don't do frozen burgers here. I was like, all right, calm down. I was like, okay. So I had one of their burgers, excellent burgers. Now, will I drive 6 hours out of the way to go get another one? No. But when I go back, because I want to go back and see if I can do a more in-depth interview with a few people from different sides of town, meaning where they stand, I would absolutely have a fucking burger at that joint again. That burger was really good. And here's the thing. That burger was good for where it was. That's it, you know? So, like, you go to certain places, guys, you have certain burgers, you're like, this burger tastes like a gas station burger. That burger was a phenomenal burger. But, whatever, I'm just getting myself hungry fucking talking about it. So, anyway, guys, with that, the people of East Palestine are still suffering from health complaints. Now, I have to say this. There was an article about a lady talking about throwing up blood or coughing up blood. According to the person I spoke to there, they said that lady was probably lying. One, because nobody else had that complaint. And secondly, more importantly, this lady is known for lying. So when she told me that, she goes, I go, really? She goes, yeah. She goes, she's known for being a habitual liar. I was like, that fucking sucks. Well, not that it sucks. I mean, then it's a good thing. They're not bleeding from their mouth. But, they are suffering from headaches, burning eyes, like I said, and sore throats. Now, the lady that works at the bar, her and her husband, are experiencing headaches every day. They're not taking Tylenol because they don't want to rely on that every day. They're drinking a lot of water, and by the end of the day, their headaches go away. The lady who worked at Rite Aid, her name was Audrey, and her kids are suffering from headaches every day. So much that they're going through bottles of Tylenol or ibuprofen for kids once a week. Patty, yes. Listen, like I said, I would love to talk to that lady myself too, but the lady who I was talking to, she was just pretty much giving me the lowdown on the town and what's going on, what's not going on, and she seemed to be pretty squared away and honest as to what she was saying. You know, like she was like, the burning of the skin. She goes, nobody else was complaining of that but this lady. She goes, the burning of the throat and the ears and the eyes and the mouth. She goes, everybody in town's pretty much experiencing that. She goes, she did say with the burning skin, the hand bubbling up. She goes, that's not saying that that it didn't happen. She goes, it's not likely because no one else is complaining about it but that one kid that it happened to. But everybody reacts differently. She did say that. So, again, she was giving me her honest opinion on what's going on. Now, again, the lady I told you about in East Palestine who's moving to California, she's moving to California with her kids because the kids are sick. She goes, her sister is helping her out with staying at a place in California, but she doesn't know what to do with her house in East Palestine, knowing that no one's going to buy that property in East Palestine, guys. No one is. I don't see anybody buying any kind of property there. I really don't. And there's some nice homes there. So East Palestine was a mixture of like poor homes and nice homes. They were like infused together, which is strange. Ruth, did I feel anything there? You know what? I was getting a headache there, but I have to, thinking about it now, when I said that on the live stream, thinking about it now, I don't know if the headache was because I was there and it was off-gassing from the ground, or all of the crane operations and vehicles that were running in the area, and I was getting a headache from the fumes, from the vehicles themselves. So I have to be responsible and say that. They could be that. It could have been that as well. I got in my car and I drove away. I felt better. So it could have been the ground. It could have been the fucking vehicles. I don't know. If I grow an extra nipple in the next fucking 3 days, then yeah, then it was the air. But I'm not worried about it. It is what it is, guys. If I was only there for a couple of hours, these people got to live there for the rest of their fucking lives. So I'm not. I'm even if I was to get sick, I wouldn't blame it on that. But yeah. Only cry for joy. The 3-nippled prepper. Yeah, imagine. But yeah, I don't think anything. I don't think I'm gonna get sick like that. But all those people who were in that area, and listen, it wasn't just East Palestine. It's a lot of the neighboring fucking towns and villages in the area that were also affected by it that need help as well. East Palestine is the epicenter of this, but the other towns in the area need the fucking. They need to be focused on as well, right? Dan Phillips, I hope my dick doesn't fall off. That would be tragic. That'd be very tragic. Good money vibes. I wouldn't put it past the workers being sick. A lot of the workers seem standoffish for fucking very good reasons because they're working with the enemy, right? You work with the enemy. That's you're not going to get open fucking dialogue with these guys. Maybe if I spoke to one of them one-on-one, I might have been able to get some open dialogue, but whatever. We shall see. Yeah, well. Yeah, we shall see where it goes. But anyway, where are we at? Well, we got 15 minutes. So, moving to California, fight. Yeah, so the ID thing, and then yeah, I told you guys about getting approached. Yeah, guys, it was a shit show. It's a shit show there, and it's going to be a shit show for a long time. And the worst part about it is people are reminded about it daily. So it's not like, for example, the Trade Center. If you live all the way uptown, you're not reminded about it daily, other than looking on the news and hearing the whole Trade Center shit day in and day out, day in and day out. But if you didn't turn the news on, you wouldn't be reminded every day. These people are in a small town, and they're reminded about it every day. Workers all over the place, vehicles running crane operation all the time, bags of dirt every fucking where, water pickup signs all over the place, schools and church turned into food and water designation pickup spots. So they're reminded about this a lot. So, yeah, it's just a shit show, man. It's a constant shit show for these people. Add love. I'm gonna do a video on 15-minute cities. It's funny because I heard about 15-minute cities like a few years ago and didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, that's not a place I want to move. Now it's picking up more and more over the last few years, and now it looks like they're going to start cramming people into 15-minute cities with the promise of luxuries and all that other bullshit. But I'll do that. I'll do a video and or a live stream on it down the line. Now, let's move into banking issues. Clearly, guys, we all watched what went on. Again, it's a shit show watching these this banking industry fold. Now, it's happening really slow. We are definitely watching the beginning of the end, if you will, unless something drastic is done to stop what's going on. We could definitely see this economic disaster turning into a bigger thing. Now, a lot of you guys know the guy Robert, I think his name is Kiyosaki. That's the guy that wrote the book Rich Daddy, Poor Daddy, or Poor Daddy, Rich Daddy, Poor Daddy, or Poor Daddy, Rich Daddy, whatever the title is of the book. Right? So he made a prediction yesterday that Credit Suisse was going to be the next bank to falter. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yes. Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I don't know why I said rich daddy, poor daddy. Anyway, sorry about that. So he made the prediction. He made a prediction yesterday about Credit Suisse folding or being the next bank to collapse. Today, Credit Suisse comes out saying that they had, in their credit report findings, they had material weaknesses in their financial report. I don't know what material weaknesses are, but that's a bad sign. And the fact that he said that yesterday and today Credit Suisse came out with this finding, that's bad. That means, and these guys, Credit Suisse, sorry, they're a big fucking banking company. Big. They're international. They're all over the place. They touch a lot of people, a lot of lives, a lot of fucking companies. If they collapse, guys, we are undoubtedly going to see a Great Depression in the next couple of months. Now, they're an international bank. I don't know who's going to save them or who's going to pump money into them. I don't know how that works with international banks. They're out of Switzerland, so maybe Switzerland will save them. I doubt it very much. But is this going to tank the economy even faster? Absolutely, if they collapse. A lot of people saying that they will. I don't know. But he called it. And what's his name? Michael Burry. It's another guy. That's the guy from the 2008 crash. He called the financial collapse starting now. And we're witnessing it. So Robert Kiyosaki also, he was, if some of you remembered, I didn't remember this till they mentioned it, but he also said that Lehman Brothers was going to collapse or fold in on itself. Patty S. said weaknesses, holding low interest bonds during a rise in interest rates. Okay, thank you, Patty S. Because Robert Kiyosaki did mention that. He goes that most of the market is made out of bonds, and he goes bonds aren't doing too great now. And he explained it a little more, and I should have listened, but I tuned him out and started writing about what I'm talking about now. But yes, thank you, Patty S. for that. So he says, this is a slow boil to the biggest financial, or not but I wrote that this is a slow boil, guys, to the biggest financial crash we will see in our lifetime. There is no comparison. You can't even compare this to the Great Depression. The road that we're headed down, if this continues, if Credit Suisse does collapse, guys, we don't have a comparison. People will try to compare the Great Depression, and there will be no fucking comparison. Zero. The amount of shit that we'll see, and here's the guys, like I said, slow boil. So if Credit Suisse collapses tomorrow or this week, we're going to watch this slow boil for the next 3 to 6 months of shit happen, of businesses going belly up. Because a lot of businesses are tied into Credit Suisse. So, yeah, the too big to fail. And I finally understood the too big to fail thing. The company is so big, it's making so much money, it can't possibly fail. I get it now. Now it dawned on me when they were talking about Credit Suisse failing. I was like, holy shit. So, here's the thing, guys. This is not an American thing. This is a global thing. This is a global economic collapse. Not just the United States, not Canada, not just the UK, China, or Russia. This is a global effect. And a global effect, guys, is nothing short of a fucking nightmare. Now, a lot of you guys remember when I said in a couple of my videos late last year, where I was talking about a deep recession being a Great Depression. This is where we're headed, guys. We're headed towards a Great Depression. That's it. This deep recession shit is bullshit. It's to keep the fucking investors calm. Hey, guys, by the way, we're going to have a deep recession. Not a depression, but a recession. Fuck you. It's a fucking, it's a Great Depression. Old hippie, did I get the vehicle fixed at Ed's? What do you mean fixed? I didn't have anything wrong with it other than that broken window bullshit that I'm getting fixed next week, by the way. Is Alaska Prepper still missing? Is he still off grid? Jason, yes, okay, fair enough. Great Depression, probably the Great Reset, all in one. But yes, it'll be the greatest depression. Exactly, CMAC, the greatest depression. Again, it will. You will not be able to compare this to the 1929. You will not be. Oh, okay. He's on. Someone says he's on vacation, or he's taking vacation, or he's taking March off. All right, fair enough. That's all right. As long as he's not. The Chinese got AP. The Chinese are going to suffer from this as well. The Chinese are not fucking. No one's escaping this, guys. Again, a global depression. This is not some shit that's just going to hit the United States, and in the United States, it's going to hit everyone. And everyone's going to feel it just the same. Now, where it's really going to hit, it's going to hit the people. That's where I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the fat cats, the politicians, the CEOs. They'll be fine. Somehow, some way, they'll always be fine. Us, we're going to take it on the fucking chin. We're going to take this on the fucking chin, and then what? It's really going to be fucking. It's really going to be fucking bad. Adriana, yes, we do need to get out of New York. You are right about that. Because listen, it's going to be disaster everywhere, though. Everywhere. Now, for those who have their own land, homesteads, things like that, they will fend off. They will do way better than everybody else still dependent on the system. Again, still looking at land and looking at land in Tennessee. I was looking at land in West Virginia. West Virginia, I saw a video and they said the 5 states not to move to. West Virginia and Oklahoma were both on those lists. Oklahoma being high crime statewide and high drugs. And then I think cost of living was, and West Virginia cost of living is cheap, but there was something he mentioned about drugs or taxes or some shit like that. Though taxes are cheap in West Virginia, there was something he mentioned. But I'm still looking at Tennessee, and I definitely want to get the very least a piece of land and out of fucking New York City before the hammer drops. If you're still in the city, guys, when the Great Depression happens, you are fucked. There's nowhere you can go. There's not much snow here. I can't pronounce that, Prepper. There's not much snow here. It was flurries here compared to if anybody got hit harder. Poor man once said Tennessee's going back to gold. Missouri's good. You know what? I should open up my what you call it to Missouri, but yeah, I'm trying to get, like I said, I ran into a financial snafu. I needed that like I needed a hole in the head. But I ran into a financial snafu, so I'm hoping to get my shit fucking squared away by June. Still by June. I got to make some fucking major moves, but yeah. I'm hoping it to by June. I don't want to move upstate New York. Upstate New York is like my last resort. But I'm also looking again at deep into Connecticut, and I don't want to move there either. But it's close, and it can get everybody out of here fast. You know. But I want to be out of this shithole. Yeah, Adriana, listen, if shit gets hot, I know that a couple of us can band together here in the city, but we got to band together here in the city and fucking bounce somewhere else. I have other options. I don't want to rely on those options, but if it comes down to it, push comes to shove, we'll have to head to those options. I don't want to, I don't want to rely on anybody else. I don't want to rely on like Prepper Nurse One, and I told him this. I don't want to rely on him. I am looking to set up some stuff on his land, but I don't want to rely on him. I want to be able to rely on myself. Those are backup plans. Shenandoah Valley has great soil. And that's the thing, guys. Duckman, no, the wife is never ready. She's never ready for this, for what's going on. I don't know, guys. Like I said, you know what the thing is like we're definitely headed towards something bad, and we've all been saying this for a while now. But the fact that we're watching it happen and happen in slow fucking motion, it's like rip the band-aid off already and let's get on with it. Juan, yeah, listen, I don't. You know what? I don't know if World War Three is it's going to be a thing. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you could be right. You could definitely be right. We could be headed towards a fucking third world war, but I don't know. If we go into an economic depression, no one's going to be able to fight to afford the fight. Unless that's how they get people to fucking, you know. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. All I know is that we're being thrown. There's so many things being thrown at us right now. It's hard to fucking gauge what's going to happen. If this economic collapse happens, guys, I can't see a world war. Unless they use that to spark the economy. But to what avail? Um, to what avail is war going to fucking bring the economy back? It isn't. And a lot of people have said, if you look over time, when there was economic woes or devastations, we've went to war, right? But we are not in Great Depression territory. We are double the amount of people on this planet than there were in 1929. We are in a deeper hole, or will be in a deeper hole if we go into depression than we were in 1929. War is not going to bring back fucking money, at least not to us. Thank you, Mike. Got it. Um, yeah, I don't know how it would work, And then you got the AI robots talking about how they would take over humanity if they could. You got that bullshit starting. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like you can't. It's like you can't get them. You can't get away from any of it. They're throwing everything at us at once, guys. It's almost as if they're fucking with us. It's almost as if, all right, guys, we're gonna throw this possibility of the depression at them. We're gonna throw the robot wars and AI wars at them. Then we're gonna scare them a little bit with some bantering and talk between these nations to make people think that there's gonna be a World War III. Then we're going to poison the air and the water so that people have limited resources to get their air and water from. So we're throwing all of this shit at them to see what sticks and what's gonna scare who. Now, me personally, guys, I'm not budging in being scared. If the economy collapses and I'm here, I'm going to make do. I'm going to leave, but I'm going to make do. I'll, bring people along with me who want to come along. But right now, my main focus is to at least get a piece of land somewhere. If I don't have any structure on it, fine, whatever. We'll build structure on it over time. But the idea is just to get land somewhere and then start with that. You know, anything else after that, guys? I saw some cheap land in West Virginia that was like in a nice, decent spot. And I don't, like I said, I don't want to move to West Virginia, but West Virginia has cheap land, very cheap land, and it can easily be lived on. Right? Tennessee, the land's a little more expensive. The soil there is not bad, but yeah, Adriana, yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, it's just I gotta fucking rip the band-aid off. I gotta pick a spot and go. So it's either Tennessee or West Virginia. Again, West Virginia, cheap land. Um, some of you guys are saying Missouri as well. Tennessee, decent land, farmable land, a little more expensive. You know, and if it goes belly up, the problem with owning land is that if I'm still making payment on land, but I can't pay the land anymore, what happens to that land? That's the catch, right? So I need to buy the land outright. I got to figure out a way how to do that. Juan Santos. Yes, I know. That's exactly what happened during the last World War II. And right, the fucking market tanked. World War II happened a decade later, actually. And then they used that to spark the economy. But that was if we go to war now, guys, it'll be a global war. This war would be bigger than World War II. I don't know how we would. I don't know how that would benefit us going to war globally. We would have China, Russia, North Korea, Iran. Oh my God, who else? So many of the Muslim countries, so many European countries against us. This war wouldn't even be worth it. You know, it wouldn't even be worth fighting, and nobody would benefit from it other than maybe China and Russia. Duckman, yeah, wherever you go, are you going to start a group? I probably would start a group. You know what? I don't think I would start a group. Here's the reason why I wouldn't start a group. Preparedness 1. I watched him interview people for this group, for his land. And some of the problems that he's run into with people, I don't want to run into that problem with them. I would all but guarantee that if I ran into a problem with somebody during a shit defense scenario and they didn't want to leave the land, I would fucking baseball bat them in the back of the head. That's where I'm at. And I'd rather not deal with that. So I would keep the fucking group super fucking small and tight. Right? And there are exceptions to that group, to that rule. Obviously, people I know, like Vision or Mike from Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, some of the guys in his group, I would be like, yo, you guys can come down on this land if shit gets hot. Ed from Preparedness 1 and some of the people in his group, they can come down to that land if shit gets hot. What I'm thinking, guys, is that if we have multiple lands to be backups, we would be fine. I think like Preparedness 1 is my backup. My buddy Old Mutt up north, he's my backup. Oklahoma with Bear Independent in them, they're like my backup or my absolute last resort backup. And I think if I bought land in Tennessee and try to finagle something in West Virginia, then I have two spots that I can fucking float between. But again, right now I got to start with one, so I gotta rip the Band-Aid off somewhere. Orion Preparedness is exactly my point. You need multiple compounds, and we have to have multiple compounds on the same page, right? RWD channel. I am not looking to move to Florida. Duckman, yeah, well, that's different. If you're looking to join the group, I mean, I don't know you other than here, but, you seem like a civil dude, Johnny 308 is another guy that I would absolutely entertain. Most of the people on here who've been here for years, that I know have been on here for years, I would entertain. But there are other people on here that are to be said that I've known for years that I wouldn't entertain. I would have to meet you first. But again, that's something different. Right now, I got to focus on where I'm going to buy my first piece of land and where I'm going to move from there. Anyway, guys, let's move over to the Angry Truths channel. We're going to talk about banks being bailed out, whether or not they're going to be bailed out or not. We'll talk on there, and we're going to start that immediately. Actually, I'm going to start it in 5 minutes. Sorry, not immediately. I'm going to start it in 5 minutes. I will see you guys over there. And we'll talk about this land shit in my next live stream Thursday night. All right, guys? Also, tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday, I'm going to have my midweek reports. There's a lot of little things we could talk about here in New York City that's going on and little things that are happening elsewhere that are not being spoken about because of this fucking economic fucking circus we're watching. Other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.